Piedmont news station. The shutdown is over and the Guilford Courthouse National Military Park gates are open once again. I'm Fox 8's Jasmine Spencer. Find out what other federal services are open again and what's still on hold. I'm Carter Coyle in Greensboro, where council members are pushing for new jobs and more companies on the map. And they say signs like this just are not going to cut it.
Well, it was cool and wet across the Piedmont with off and on showers throughout the day. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Some are getting a break right now, but that rain is going to continue into the evening.
Yeah, our meteorologist Emily Bird has been watching the radar closely for us this evening. Emily, when can we expect all this to move out?
Well, certainly before midnight. But there are going to be some spots that have to deal with the rain at least into the prime time hours. We'll call it between 7 and 8 o'clock in the evening. Right now on radar, you can see Forsyth County clearing out just beautifully. So you may not be getting a lot in the way of any sunshine. You still have clouds overhead, but at least most of the rain's out of Forsyth County. All of this clearing trend is moving off to the east and to Guilford County eventually. In Davidson County, you still have some moderate rain, especially along I-85, but back into Davie County and most of Rowan County, well, certainly Davie County, you're pretty much done. Just drizzle from here on out. Down to our south in Rowan County, you may be picking up a few more showers that are coming up from just west of Charlotte down around Shelby. In the southern Piedmont, still that very light continuous rain continues, and this is where we're going to see the rain last to exit from, say, Troy all the way up towards Burlington and Snow Camp. So just keep in mind, the clearing trend is underway, but it is taking its time. Before midnight, that's where we expect to see some improvement. So keep your fingers crossed. You may actually, before sunset, see a little bit of sunshine off in your western skies. 50% chance of rain here for that 5 to 6 o'clock hour. And as we drop into the 7 to 8 o'clock time frame, we really start to see the rain moving off to our east. And rain chances will be dropping below 20% before midnight. Stay tuned. Pretty weather's up ahead for Friday, but the weekend, that's something we're going to be watching closely. I'll have details in your full forecast.
All right, this is what it looks like when both sides work together for the good of the country. Just hours after the government reopened, signs were removed and the cones lifted at the entrances to our national parks. Yes, federal workers are back on the job for the first time in a little over 2 weeks. Now, the shutdown may be over, but keep in mind this is just a temporary fix.
Yeah, that's because there's a new deadline approaching and President Obama doesn't want to see the same thing happen again. So today he made it clear that Congress has to get it together.
There's a lot of work ahead of us, including our need to earn back the trust of the American people that's been lost over the last few weeks. And we can begin to do that by addressing the real issues that they care about.
Now, this agreement to reopen the government will fund it through January 15th. It also extends the debt ceiling until February 7th.
Well, we waited 16 days for the date the federal government would reopen. Now, what can we expect? Well, first, federal workers furloughed through the shutdown will start to get back pay in their October 25th paychecks. Health research will go on. The National Institutes of Health Centers and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will continue to go on with their daily operations, including tracking illnesses like the flu. And probably one of the most exciting things for animal lovers with the reopening of our national parks, the Panda Cam returns. The National Zoo's Panda Cam went to black at the start of the shutdown. Well, here in the Piedmont Triad, while there are signs the shutdown is over, it's still going to take a while for local agencies to bounce back. And one of those areas affected, the Guilford Courthouse National Military Park in Greensboro. Fox 8's Jasmine Spencer is there right now. One of my favorite running spots there, Jasmine. It's going to take a while before it's fully back up and running, right?
That's right, Neil. And there were some of your fellow runners out here earlier today, but here at the Guilford Courthouse National Military Park, they opened the gates as normal this morning. Of course, they're closed now because it's after 5 o'clock, but the park rangers who work here, they'll have to wait until their next paycheck till they get paid for the hours lost during the 16 days of shutdown. It's the same situation for other federal agencies. Though their doors may be open, there could be a delay until when business is back to normal once again.
I just feel very relieved, like I can breathe now.
Pregnant Brandy Thompson's sigh of relief comes with a WIC food benefit voucher in hand.
Think of these as cash.
Something she was unable to apply for during the 16-day government shutdown after losing her job.
So last Friday morning, with the go-ahead from the state office, we began mailing food vouchers.
Just having to depend on the government, at the wrong time. and I'm just happy it's back up and running.
While some people's benefits are running again, others are back at work.
To be kind of locked out of doing the job that you love, you know, it hurts.
Superintendent Charles Cranfield says though the gates of the Guilford County Military National Park are open, park rangers will have to wait a few more weeks for their back pay.
When we do get one, it'll make up for what we lost, but for people who are living paycheck to paycheck, it does make you stretch the dollar.
And local universities may have to stretch dollars while waiting for federal grants to process that fund student research.
In about 3 to 6 months, when we would anticipate receiving some of these grants, they're not going to be coming in because the reviews haven't been completed. There's going to be a lag before the agencies are back up and running at full speed.
And another federal agency that would have a little bit of delay is the VA regional office in Winston-Salem. That opened again for the first time today, but while it was closed, 1,000 benefit claims for our veterans should have been processed. For now, I'm reporting live in Greensboro. I'm Jasmine Spencer, Fox 8 News.
Thank you, Jasmine. New details this afternoon in that counterfeit money bust in High Point. Police say they've arrested everyone involved with making and passing fake bills around the city. You may remember last Friday we reported that one arrest had been made, but 7 other people were still wanted. Well, since then, High Point police have arrested all of those people, with the most recent arrest happening just yesterday afternoon.
All right, happening right now, early voting going on across the Piedmont. In fact, it's going on now until November 2nd with Election Day on Tuesday, November 5th. Find out what polling places are open in your area. Visit the Board of Elections at ncsbe.gov.
New at 6 o'clock, more jobs, higher wages, and a better looking city. It is all part of a plan some city council members believe is going to help grow the city of Greensboro. Fox 8's Carter Coyle joins us now live from Greensboro at tonight's downtown city market. Carter, what is this new plan all about?
Well, it's really about giving focus to city leaders about where they see Greensboro going and growing. You know, we talk a lot about downtown events like the city market here, which bring in a lot of people, but this new plan and strategy also highlights areas outside of downtown that have a lot of potential for growth. Glenn's Barber Shop is one of the last businesses you'll see in East Greensboro before hitting empty land and lots of trees.
It's pretty much a dead end.
Michael Howell says this dead end of town has a lot of potential to bring more customers driving his direction.
Greensboro is a great place to actually grow. I don't particularly want money to go somewhere else, but I think that the more businesses come here, the more jobs come here.
City council members have the same idea, creating an area called the High Impact Zone in East Greensboro. Their new plan would offer 80% tax incentives.
I look at past incentives. Typically, they're 3 years. We want people to invest in East Greensboro, so let's make it a little more attractive. Let's make it 8 years instead of 3. And hopefully that will spur even more interest in this area.
Councilman Zach Matheny says it's essential for the city to focus on more jobs and higher wages.
If you've got the airport here, you've got the golf course over here.
The airport is another target growth area. The new strategy also outlines working with neighboring cities like Burlington, High Point, and Winston-Salem to invest together where major interstates create a crossroads. The plan also pushes a rebranding of the look of Greensboro signage as you head into town.
The colorful images, the branding on the interstate, the branding, the Welcome to Greensboro signs, and updating our city will hopefully create a vibrancy for our citizens and people visiting.
That vibrancy also evident in events like City Market, where they get thousands of people here. This is the 3rd Thursday event every month. This is the 5th and final City Market, but they're hoping to bring them back in April. Some other programs you'll see the city pouring a lot of money into include the Shovel Ready Site Loan Program, headquarters incentives to get headquarter businesses downtown, and of course the mega site we keep hearing about in Randolph County. Live in Greensboro tonight, Carter Coyle, Fox 8 News.
All right, thank you, Carter. Plans for the new Westchester Park in High Point are moving forward. Right now, council members are going over different ideas on exactly how to build this park. One idea recommended to the city by consultants: build the park in stages. The first phase would help establish water and sewer services for that park, along with adding a shelter, a playground, and a walking trail. Once it's complete, the $5 million park will cover 60 acres off Westchester Drive. Well, one of the Piedmont's most recognizable historic spots is getting national recognition.
The Minette C. Duffy National Landscape Preservation Award is being given to Bethara Park in Winston-Salem for the reconstruction of its historic fort. The Bethara Palisade Fort is the only French and Indian War era fort in the southeast. Dates back to 1756. It's been recreated on its original site, and the award is the highest of its kind. It's given to parks that work to preserve, restore, and maintain historic landscapes and grounds. Our congratulations. Great site there, where they are like thieves in the night.
Yeah, sneaking up behind people who are just trying to get in an early morning run. A look at who has them ducking and dodging for cover in one Piedmont neighborhood. Who? That's a little hint for you.
Yeah. And as temperatures start to change, it's the perfect time to dig in the back of that closet and find those coats you can no longer wear. Right now, we are collecting new and gently used coats for our annual FOX8 Give a Kid a Coat campaign to benefit those who seek assistance via the Salvation Army. You can drop off any new or gently used coats at any A Cleaner World store in the Piedmont from now until November 16th.